Are you ready? If you are pregnant, obviously this applies to the girls. If you are pregnant, if you have trouble with English, please follow me. If you are pregnant, only use 1 drop of the 5%, 2 drops of the 2% during the entire pregnancy. And this can increase baby's IQ up to 30 IQ points, putting your child at the top of the class when they attend school. So we talked about that yesterday, and so I encourage, if you know anyone who is pregnant and it's the first trimester, this is a wonderful opportunity for mothers to increase baby's IQ. This is very precious. Okay, probiotics and prebiotics. You all know what a probiotic is. If you don't, please raise your hand. Okay, very good. Thank you for your honesty. A probiotic is a bacteria in a pill, and I usually encourage people to get anywhere from 10, I like a 14 to 16, 18 strain. Strain means multiple strains of bacteria. You have over 200, now I'm probably speaking incorrectly, what is there, 400 or 500? There's many strains in your gut, but most of the time people will say there's over 200 strains in your gut, major strains, okay? And so you have probiotics that are bacteria that break down food. So did you all know that you have more bacteria in your body than you have what? You have more bacteria in your body than you have. Did I hear someone? Did you say? That's correct. You have more that is correct. You have more bacteria than you have cells. And bacteria can look the size of a cell. So you're a bacteria factory. Just think, you've got bacteria all over, inside, everywhere. And you are just full of bacteria. Wow, it's a little scary, isn't it? So you have more bacteria, trillions, where you don't have that much in cellular, smooth cells, all kinds of cells. So, prebiotic. What is a prebiotic? Simon will tell you, James will tell you, Rebecca and others. We have people coming into Restoration Healthcare. They're tired. They have PCOD, they have diabetes, they have this, they have that. What's one of the questions I ask them? I ask them, have you been on antibiotics in the last year? It's maybe 6 months. And almost always the answer is yes. Almost always the answer is yes. So what is antibiotic? Anti means against, biotic means life. Probiotic is for, biotic is life. So anti, against life, probiotic, for life. But I recognize that an antibiotic can help you if it's killing bad bacteria. The problem is that an antibiotic kills good bacteria and bad bacteria. It kills good bacteria and bad bacteria. And if you take too many antibiotics, you start depleting all the friendly bacteria. They have a term for it. They call it microbiome. That's a general term for all your bacteria. So, a prebiotic would be before probiotic. Okay? So, what are prebiotics? Any guesses? Just take a guess. So, maybe you have a guess? Ebby, you have a guess? Meshach, what do you think a prebiotic would be? One of the questions we need to ask ourselves is, what would be the form of a prebiotic? What would be the makeup of a prebiotic? Fiber can act as a prebiotic. So if you eat carrots, root vegetable, if you eat beets, white radish, or anything that's a root vegetable, they can act as prebiotics. And if you do something different every day, you have a different root vegetable. According to some of the doctors that I read their research, they say that changing a root vegetable every day increases prebiotic health, which then influences bacteria. It's very exciting. And so a prebiotic that we use at the center is something called biotin. And biotin makes your B vitamins grow in your ascending colon. Al is in his late 70s, maybe about 10 years older than me. I think he's still alive. And he needed a major change. I got him a B vitamin, I got him a probiotic, I got him a biotin, I got him some resveratrol, and I got him some vitamin C and some other things. He just needed some changes. And he didn't take his biotin immediately upon rising with his probiotic, which is how you do it. He didn't take it before lunch, and he didn't take it until before supper. Before supper, he took it. I got a call 3 days later and said, "Dr. Dan, I haven't slept for 3 nights, and I have been awake and falling asleep between 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning." And he said, "It's all since I have been on your program." And I could feel the finger come through the phone. It didn't feel good. It felt very uncomfortable. And so I said to him, I said, "Well, tell me what you're doing." And we went, "I'm doing this one and I'm doing that one." And I said, "Well, what about the biotin?" He said, "Oh, I keep forgetting to take the biotin." And I said, "Oh, so you take it before lunch?" "No, I'm taking it before supper the last 3 nights in a row." This was a brand new experience. The Holy Spirit was teaching me something. I always tell people, take your biotin first thing in the morning. And now they're taking it just before supper, an hour before supper. And so I said, "Well, Al, it has to be the biotin. This is new to me. I'm going to be honest with some patients, I'll be honest, but I won't say everything. With others, I'll say, "Al, I had no idea. This is brand new to me. I don't know." But that's the only thing you're doing different. So don't take it at night anymore. In fact, if you forget, don't take it at lunchtime. Take it first thing in the morning. As soon as he started taking it in the morning, everything changed. So what was the biotin prebiotic doing? The prebiotic makes the B vitamins, B1, B2, B1's energy, B2, B3, niacin, niacinamide type of a thing. And then you have B5, which is pantothenic acid, B6, peroxidine HCl or P5P, and B12. And so all of those were all making a change in his gut. And as soon as he switched, he said, you know what he said to me? "I take it before supper. I have so much energy all night long. I can't go to sleep." So when you have people who are tired, if they don't have any money and you recognize they're poor, you tell them, eat carrots, raw carrots, by the way, one supper time or lunchtime, then do maybe radishes the next day, then do beets the next day, and keep switching their root vegetable, because root vegetables can do the same thing, it just takes longer and it's slower. If they can afford to do what we had them do, I learned this when I had the lady that had sarcoidosis and she was healed in 10 days. Okay? I'm not going to stop and talk about sarcoidosis. It's a 10 to 12 point disease, not a syndrome. sarcoidosis. And she was so sick, she went from the bed to the couch and the couch to the bed, and her husband gave her supper at mealtime in the evening, but she just laid around all day long. She couldn't even function. And I made a mistake because in the early days I would tell you verbally what to do. Now I write it all down. And she took 6 biotin, that was 30,000, because that was a 5,000 at that time. When you look at biotin, it comes as a 5,000 microgram or a 5 milligram. So when you get the biotin that we use at Restoration Healthcare, it's a 10 milligram or a 10,000 microgram. And I have you do 30,000. Well, after spending 20 hours of research, off and on, and calling companies, I have one favorite company I call and they give me fantastic information I can't find. I realized that biotin is a miraculous substance and very few people, even most naturopaths, are not onto it.
What's the meaning of biotin, doctor?
What's that?
What's the meaning of biotin?
So biotin, what does the name mean? I don't know. I don't know what the name means. I just know the name biotin. So when this lady took biotin, in 10 days, she had a complete turnaround. That is miraculous. God got all the glory. I had nothing to do with it. Praise His name. So when you have someone who is struggling with health and they've been on antibiotics, the first thing one of the things you're going to say very first is, have you done a probiotic at all? And usually the answer is no. If they haven't done a probiotic, then you do a probiotic and a prebiotic. And the people that come back into our center after 10 to 20 days say, when I started taking this and you told me what to buy and you sent me the information and I bought it, my energy levels just started to skyrocket. They just started to pick up. So the one last comment about this is, when you do a 30 or 50 billion probiotic and then you do 30,000 or 30 milligram, you do that for 10 days and back off to 1 capsule. Okay, I'm giving you a formula. When you do that for 10 days, if people who are really tired, they see the greatest improvement. People who are middle of the road tired, they see middle of the road improvement. People who are minor and have pretty good energy but not enough, they see a minor improvement. So remember, whenever anyone is sick or they need a probiotic along with a prebiotic, those who are the worst see the greatest improvement. They get the most excited. And then I have other stories to tell you, but I'm going to go on here. So now you know what a probiotic is, and a prebiotic is not bacteria. It encourages bacteria growth. It's an encourager, but it is not the bacteria itself. Okay, reading on about probiotic and prebiotic. This condition, PCOD, also causes stress and abdominal discomfort due to another imbalance in the intestines. So, consuming high-powered probiotic with multi-strains, okay, 10, 12, 14, 16, for 1 month or more can aid in bringing the intestines back into health. Also, using a prebiotic such as biotin in high dose has been found to be a positive adjunct in quickly boosting the body into healing mode. The best approach for biotin is to purchase a 10,000 or 10 milligram, use 30,000 for 10 days with your probiotic, first thing in the morning with plenty of water on an empty stomach. Remember, sometimes you'll read the bottle, ignore the bottle. It says take it with food, ignore that. If you take it with food, you have your digestive juices that destroy the bacteria, okay? You take it on an empty stomach and that makes all the difference. After 10 days, reduce the biotin to 1 capsule or 10,000 take with your probiotic. Finish both bottles. Some individuals will find in a high-stress job just any stressful condition that maintaining the use of probiotic and biotin help to hold the body in balance. So what do I do with someone who's a high-stress person? I see you're all hot and sleepy. What do I do with a high-stress person? And you're working with them, okay? You're a health coach. We've got them for 3 months. I might say to them, if you find after not 10 days, but maybe a week to 2 weeks after the 10 days, your energy levels start to dip, not plummet, because that's straight down, right? But they start, it's like a gradual 45-degree angle. They're just getting worse and worse and worse. That means 2 things. Their stress is making them adrenal dominant, and their stress is destroying and imbalancing the friendly microflora, and so it's getting less and less. And number 3, it means when they digest their food, they're not going to absorb. Absorption is key when you're looking at food. That's why I don't remember which one of you, and you said, I'm done, and the girls were teasing you, I think Rebecca or Helen, and they said, yes, you eat food and you're done in 5 to 10 minutes. And I say, I'm eating, you know, it takes me 35 to 40 minutes to finish my meal. In fact, I went to the dentist today and he said, you grind your teeth. And I said, doctor, I do not grind my teeth. He said, your teeth look terrible. I said, yes, I have awful looking teeth. And we had a little talk about that. But I said, I don't grind my teeth. My wife grinds her teeth, and she has a special mouth guard that's very special, different than whatever any other dentist would do, because they don't know what they're doing. We've been to 3 dentists, and they all said something a little different, and they were all wrong till we went to a specialist. You want to talk about that someday? Talk to me, and I'll tell you what exactly a specialist is in this. But he said, your teeth look terrible. And I said, I chew, and I chew, and I chew. And I said, people are done with their meal in 5 to 10 minutes. I'm done in 35 to 45 minutes. And he rolled his eyes. What's wrong with this guy? I said, I want to live a long life. I want to be healthy. He said, well, you look much healthier than 71 years old. I wouldn't guess you're 71. I said, well, thank you. But the whole idea is the longer you chew your food, the healthier you will be, because the longer you chew your food, the better absorption you have in your gut. So everything I'm telling you, I hope you remember, because this is so important for helping people. When you fellows up in the north are out there and you're using the right arm in the message, you want to know this information, because this is your entering wedge into that home. Okay, we want to keep the body in balance. On to vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 plays an important role. Do you have any questions about bacteria or prebiotics or probiotics? I always pick strains that have L. salivarius in it. If it doesn't have L. salivarius, I will not use it. And I don't use it for any of my patients. I have done that for 20 years. Because L. salivarius is so fantastic as a probiotic. Remember, you have L this and L that, lactobacillus, L. You've got all these L this and L that, and it's got lactobacillus in front of all these different strains. That's what the L is. But salivarius spells just like it sounds, salivarius. So when I look at a product, I'm a label reader. I read all the labels. You want to be a label reader. Are you a label reader? Are you a label reader? Are you a label reader? Good for you. We have a label reader. How many are label readers in here? Wonderful. Yes? A little bit. Yes? Wonderful. Wonderful, Jennifer. That's fantastic. Any other only a handful of label readers. You need to be reading your labels so you know what you're getting. It's really, really important. Okay, vitamin D3 plays an important role in the health and fertilization. Catch that. Health and fertilization. Fertility. I do struggle reading. Remember, I have dyslexia. So, health and fertility for women with polycystic ovarian syndrome disease. Research shows that 67 to 85% of the women with PCOS, PCOD are deficient in vitamin D3. Wow! You have a lady who has PCOD, and she says, and you go up to her and you say, you know, ma'am, we at our, you know, you're a health coach, you're at home, or you're working maybe at a center somewhere, we know how to fix this. You've been to many doctors and they say there's no cure, but there is a cure. You want to get a blood test, ask her to get write the number 25 hydroxy vitamin D3 test. Big difference, big difference. We just had a lady with multiple sclerosis, and we had a little trouble with our blood work, you know, communication with the labs and all. We just did a test with her, 17. And what's the range? Do you remember? I'm going to keep going over this and over because I want to pound it into your head. That might be a little painful. 30 to 100, what's that called? 30 to 100 is old school, and 30 to 150 is what? New school. Okay? So she's 17, and on the lab work it says 20 to 30 is insufficient, below 10 is severe, and 30 to 100 is sufficient. But remember, if you're taking notes, doctors everywhere are testing people and they're finding out that below 50, people are getting cancer everywhere in the United States and Canada. So if you think one of your clients is 35 or 40, 45, do you think they can still get cancer? According to the research, they can. I was 31 the first time I did my 25 hydroxy vitamin D3, and I started doing vitamin D3. And the last time I did a test, I was 55. Do you think I'm happy with that? I want to be 70, 80, 90. Okay, please note this. There's a dentist who wrote the MS Mystery. Wonderful book. And he says in there, when I put my patient, he's a doctor, for you a client, when I put my client above, in the 90s, 80s and 90s, major health breakthrough. You remember the lady I worked with? She was 126. You remember the story? And I said, how do you feel? She said, I feel 30 years younger and I feel like a brand new woman. I'm not depressed anymore. I'm not sick anymore. I can handle stress now. That was her husband. I can handle all kinds of things. She had major problems, all kinds. She was constantly trying to get well. And I worked with her with progesterone cream. Nothing seemed to work. Vitamin D3, 50,000 every other day for 5 weeks. Wow. She was 8, and then she went to 126. One natural medication. Please get that in your heart. Get that in your mind. Really important to get a 25 hydroxy vitamin D3 test. 67 to 85% of the women with PCOD are deficient. They could be single digit, in the teens, in the 20s, they're still deficient. Doesn't matter where. It is important to get vitamin D levels tested and bring levels up to a high normal range through sunshine or supplementation. And remember, when you have someone do this, you notice I'm detailed and you might find it boring, but before someone does the 25 hydroxy vitamin D3 test, if they're on vitamin D3, stop it 4 to 5 days before you do the test, because all it's going to show is what the supplement's doing. And you don't want that. You want to know what their retention level is. What's in their body after they stop using it. Okay, diet and lifestyle. Diet and lifestyle are important parts of helping the body get well. What not to eat. It is advisable to eliminate the following foods to get well quickly. Dairy. We need to be eating dairy. I'm sorry, we need to not be eating dairy. It causes bad bacteria growth, too much estrogen, allergy issues, unwanted inflammation in the lower abdomen. Meat. We need to be not eating meat. It also causes inflammation, poor bowel movements, constipation, oxidation, increased cholesterol. Next, processed foods and sweet. What are processed foods? Oil, salt, and sugar. When you think of processed foods, right? I'm not 100%, but when you think about processed foods, you should, for all the packaged stuff, you should think oil, sugar, and salt. Because the body likes that. The brain, the tongue just became the brain. Yum, yum, yum. Okay? Processed foods and sweets. Stop eating processed foods, junk foods, especially sweets, too many white refined foods. These have the bran and germ removed. Oil. Greatly reduce or eliminate fried foods and all other very oily foods. Use herbs to add flavor to your food. Stop or reduce the hot peppers. Let me ask you something. You're eating the diet here. If I give you a hot pepper, Joe, and you crunch on that, is your mouth going to be inflamed? Is it going to be hot? Yeah. So when you eat hot, spicy peppers, it inflames your stomach, your esophagus, your small intestine, your large intestine. When I go somewhere and I eat real hot, spicy food, because I'm so open, right? I say to my wife, wow, my motion is so hot. It's coming out burning. My sphincter is just burning as it comes out. Sometimes I get an upset stomach and I feel some pain down here. And I sit on the toilet and it comes out. Man, I'm just like on fire. It's so uncomfortable. So if it hurts me, do you think it's hurting you? I think so, James. I think it's hurting you. It's not good. You know, all these hot foods inflame your stomach, your intestines, your colon. It just makes everything on fire. It's not good. Okay. Hot peppers. Note, eliminating oily foods for the first 3 months is one of the most important parts of this protocol. So if you have a lady with PCOD and you tell her, you're working with her, okay, you ladies are working with her, you guys, the guys don't get PCOD. So, I'm sorry. This is more directed to the girls. Thank you for listening and being patient. You may have mother, sister, relative, and you can minister to them. That doesn't mean that you need to say, I'm going out to lunch, you can talk to the girls. No. It means that you've got family members and ladies you're going to meet because you're going to meet the family, right? You're going to meet the family, and when you meet the family, you're going to have something to say to them because you are now knowledgeable about PCOD. Praise the Lord. The first 3 months, here's my point. Once you start working with them, whether you're charging them money because you're a health center, or maybe just a pastor, or whatever position you're at, you may not be charging them any money. I don't know how we're all going to work this out. But if that's the case, and you start telling them about PCOD, you've got to remind them, you don't see results immediately, okay? You don't see results the first week. It might be the end of the first month. It might be the end of the second month, okay? She's not going to get pregnant in the first 2 weeks. It's just not going to happen. So, I hope when Meshach's dad comes, he tells you about the story, the guy he worked with, the leg that was dying, and what a fantastic story. It took weeks for his father to heal this man. Praise the Lord, because the man changed everything he was doing because His dad had an opportunity to minister and talk about other things while he worked on him. This is why we don't have instant healing. If you read the Spirit of Prophecy, she says pointedly, if we went around and we had instant healing and we prayed, Daniela, and we said all the right words, it's not a magic formula, but we said what was true and honest and in faith, and Daniela was healed, she would go back to her old habits. This is inspired from the Spirit of Prophecy. I'm just repeating to you what I read in the Spirit of Prophecy. So, we end up saying, why don't we have miraculous healing? Have you ever felt a little discouraged? Haven't any of you, all of you should have wondered, why don't we have more miraculous, instantaneous healing? If you haven't thought that way, there's something wrong with you. Because we're all thinking that way. Jesus did it. You read about it in the Bible. You should have let that cross through your brain. Why? Because Ellen White, the Spirit of Prophecy, inspired from God, says, if you had instant healing, they would go back to their same old habits. Drinking, smoking, eating at 10 at night, going to bed at 11, lots of oil. They would still be doing the same old stuff. Thank you, Samra, for healing me. And I just praise your God. And then they go back to all their old habits. What did you gain? Not much. You gained a friend, and someone said, Samra, she can heal anybody. Yeah, you might become a little famous. That could be bad for your pride. It would be bad for my pride. Okay. What to eat? Whole grains, lots of vegetables, cooked and raw. We'll talk about raw sometime. I'm going to see if I can't get Cheryl's daughter to send me the article on raw food that I told her about. She went and found it. Yeah, there's another story, so I'm not going to go there. Fruits, not dried fruits. They're too sweet, right? You have PCOD, oranges, not sweet foods, okay? Not sweet fruits, okay? Legumes, beans, dal. Do you know why you're also healthy in India, even though there's a lot of sickness? Because you eat beans, legumes, and dal. Do you know in Thailand they don't eat hardly any beans? And they eat noodles and rice. Now I like noodles, and I'm a noodle boy. And Lorna's a rice baby. So we have rice baby and noodle boy. And so when you go to Thailand, they're not eating protein. And so a lot of them are really sick. But you have one of the healthiest diets going. It's just amazing to me. If you change some things, like you girls, dry yourself when you urinate. Dry yourself when you're doing this. Don't eat late at night. Don't go to the sweet shop. Do make a few changes, and it would be fantastic. You girls cook from scratch. We cook from the refrigerator. And we talk to some ladies, and they say, we don't eat refrigerator food. That's bad food. Well, no, it isn't bad food. But in any case, you girls cook a lot from scratch. It's healthy. You've got a lot of fiber, and people say you don't have fiber. I think you have a lot of fiber compared to what we eat in the States. And in Thailand, they don't eat much fiber. Not at all. Okay, legumes. Mealtime. Eat a big breakfast and lunch and a small supper. Supper time should be anywhere to 5 to 7, with 3 hours or more for the food to digest before bed. Never eat at 9 and then go to bed at 10. This will put weight on and cause chemical imbalances in the body. The stomach needs to sleep, and you will feel more rested in the morning when you stop eating late at night. Lifestyle. Exercise is very important for PCOD. Daily vigorous exercise as you're able. I think, Beulah, you're out there huffing it, aren't you? You're not just sauntering along, are you? Right? You're out there, right? I've seen you walk. You're out there getting your exercise. That when you have to walk somewhere, take advantage of the opportunity. Don't just saunter along. Get into it and exercise. I'm glad I've got some laughter here. We need a little laughter. Okay. Exercise 30 to 45 minutes. It's important to keep the body healthy and for what? What's the next word? Detoxification. When you start getting the circulation going, do you know your body releases more toxins from muscle tissue and organ tissue? Yeah. Water. Water consumption in the morning should be 3 to 4 glasses. 4 glasses is 1 liter. Then use plenty of water throughout the day on an empty stomach. Remember, you are bringing your body out of a what? Toxic condition. PCOD is an imbalance and a toxic condition. Toxic from too much, what is it? Polyunsaturated. Get that word in your head. Polyunsaturated. Polymany, omega-6, polyunsaturated. Okay? And it's a toxic condition. Not a disease, it's a syndrome. So drink water through the day. Remember, you're bringing your body out of a toxic condition, so use more water, right? If you're 3 liters a day and you're sick, you go to 4 liters a day. If you're 3.5 liters a day and you're real sick, you go to 4 or 4.5 liters a day. As soon as anyone is sick, please remember this. You're probably learning this from Akash. Whatever your formula is, and he's giving you the formula, I've probably given you the formula. Whatever the formula is, if you're sick, add to that formula because you're doing a cleaning and you've got to flush things out of your system. Maybe, remember you're bringing your body out of a toxic condition, so use more water when maybe you have not been drinking enough water will help to flush the inflammation out of your lower abdomen. Okay? Do you have any questions about this? I spent many hours refining this so it was very detailed, explicit. If you have trouble with PCOD, not you, someone you're working with, and if you do, this is very detailed, very explicit. All the answers you need are right here. There may be something a little different, but we talk about iodine and everything, okay? So, I am working on a test for this. I decided you really need a test. So I didn't give you one on diabetes, so I'm working on one for this. So I knew you would be happy. So what I'm going to do now is I want to pass out our next subject here, and it is smoking and betel nut. Sometimes I'm really tired, and you can tell I'm not 100% there. So we had someone over here. I'll put it right down here. We have some sleepers in the back there. Okay. This says Priya. This is your writing, dear, yes? Is this you, right? Good girl. And then I have Jacqueline. Oh, Jacqueline. Whose writing is this? Is that yours? Oh, okay. Ebby. Okay. What name is that? Oh, Marjana. Is she here? No, she wasn't here yesterday either. Mishak. There's 2. There's 2. Right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, dear. There's 2.
Sir, I wrote my name.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh, here's a name right here. That's Renuka. That's not. That's Renuka. That's not yours.
I'll pass. Yes, very far. Too far. I think somebody wrote for you.
Angel?
She already got it.
She already has.
Got
Have I given everyone? Did you get one? No. There you are, Jennifer. Okay, if I find yours, we'll make a trade. Okay, Joe? Did, oh, I gave you all one. Okay, do you have one? Okay, up. Okay, you have one. So we have 2 here and here. Renjpa. Simon, you don't have one, right? I put yours over there. There you are. Yeah.
So can I get one more?
Did
for
you get
Arsha?
one?
I want one more for Arsha. She's not here.
Arsha. Okay. Thank you for thinking of her.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. I want to hand it to her myself. Yeah. There you are, sir. Did a tweet? Did you? Are you sitting here?
I got it, sir.
You got it.
I got it.
Okay. Okay, everyone have the paper on smoking and betel nut. Did I miss someone? Oh, I am so sorry, dear.
And I have a question.
Okay, you want to ask now?
About this 25 hydroxy vitamin D3. You said-
25.
Yeah, 25 hydroxy vitamin D3.
25, the number, 25 hydroxy vitamin D3 test. That's the whole name. Yeah, yeah. So when you go somewhere or you're working with a client, you say, this is what you need. Write the number 25, hydroxy HYDROXY vitamin D3 test. And you say, take this to the doctor and say, this is what you need. And they'll think you're very smart because you know what you're talking about, okay? Okay, now before we end, and I need to do this before I run into Rebecca's class. Okay, here we are. Here are your pictures. There's two. There's two. There's two. They don't drink enough water. When you don't drink enough water, you're going to end up with bursitis, arthritis, pain, joint, muscle. Okay? So here you've got young boys. Look at the lungs. I know that Prabitra, this is going to be one of her favorite pictures because I teased her about the brain, you know. You don't mind me teasing you a little, right? So here's another great picture. This really gets people. When you show this to them, you've got their attention. Look at that. That's a smoker's lung. How do you like the teeth? Oh, I wish I have teeth of some Karen dear ladies. I went to a village. My girls were off in another place. I make them stay together because I want them protected. Now, I'm the guy, right? And in my other two teams, there's one guy in each team. So I'm alone, and they're on their own somewhere, three other girls. And I go up to these ladies, and they're all sitting. Here's this bamboo house, and up in the mountains in Thailand. We're way up in the mountains. I drive up these hills, like way up in a four-wheel drive. And we get up there, and then we get to the village, and we walk around, and hi, can we help you? And these three ladies are all sitting, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. And they're all right there with their legs hanging over. And I look at the one lady, and I said, hello, and I smile at everyone. And I say hello to even here, I smile and say hello to everyone. And some people look at me like, how come you're so happy? And other people will smile back. Well, this lady, when you smile at someone, the saying in America says the whole world smiles with you. And I looked at her and I said, hello, and she smiled, and her teeth were purple. I mean purple, like your shirt there. Only deeper, like real deep. And I looked and I said, oh, I need a picture of this. I got my camera out. And I said, can I take a picture of you? And she said, here she is smiling. Pinch those lips together. And so I relaxed a little bit, and I looked at my camera, and I got my camera ready, and I kind of held it here, and I started talking to all the ladies. And I said something, and I got a smile out of her, click. And I didn't look through my little eyepiece, and I got a picture, and when I looked at it, I said, oh, praise the Lord, this is a great picture. And I got her. It was so good. She didn't want me to see her teeth. Do you know what they said? And her teeth were purple, but the purple goes to black, and they have black teeth. And I said, why do you want black teeth? What do they say up in the Northeast? There's a lot of betel nut up there. What do these people, precious, dear, wonderful people, I'm not saying, I think the world of them. I love them. They're wonderful. What do you think they said to me? Come on, you have to know what the jargon is. What are they going to tell me? Tell me what they're going to say.
You're going to say, if you say what?
Louder.
What's the question? What are you going to say?
The question is, I asked them the question, why do you want black teeth? Because they wanted black teeth. They told Malaji, my translator, one of them, why they wanted black teeth. What do you think the answer was? So that's the question. Why do you want black teeth? Why do you want purple teeth? You tell me. What do they say? You don't know. See that dog? That dog has white teeth. If I have white teeth, you're going to think I'm a dog. That's pretty heavy. I thought, where is their head? Where's their education? That's what the lady said. See that dog? That dog has white teeth. I don't want to be white teeth because you're going to think I'm a dog. Ooh, I was hurting. I mean that. I really hurt in my heart for her. Where are they getting this from? I don't know. Anyway, here's the teeth, right? We put the good and the bad. Why do we do this? Because you're teaching a lesson. Okay, my class is up. Here's the smoke. Thank you. Here's the smoke, no smoke. Here's exercise. And here's the fruit. You have to get up in front of me and wave. Try to get my attention. That's better. Try to do a little dance. That's what you need to do. Okay, class is over. We'll go over this tomorrow. I'll be working on a test for PCOD. I'm not going to work on a test for this, okay? No, you won't have a test tomorrow on PCOD. Thank you. I know some of you were very tired. I'm sorry you were so tired. But tomorrow we'll go over this, and then I'll work on a test. I'll let you know when the test for the PCOD is so important. 1 million women every year get PCOD. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. I just have to look around and I can tell. So, okay, you're dismissed. How much time do you want to give them? 5 minutes? Is that no? 7 minutes. 10 minutes?